So having a 9 to 5 isn't ruining your life. Your mindset is. And if you've ever felt trapped by your job or dreaded the thought of having to work your 9 to 5, then I think it's time to reclaim your happiness. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your 9 to 5 into the foundation for building the life you actually want. Let's get into it. Chapter 1. Rethinking your 9 to 5. So the way you think about your 9 to 5 can make the difference between feeling trapped and the difference between using it to build a better future. The biggest trap is believing your job is your identity. And this is really common with really high paying and highly skilled jobs. Doctors, lawyers, investment bankers, they make their career their entire identity. But there's a harsh reality that we all need to face, and that is your 9 to 5 is just a tool. If you were to get sick or suddenly be unable to work, then your job would replace you in seconds. Trust me, in a 9 to 5, almost always we're replaceable. So if you're lucky enough to be paid a proper wage, using your 9 to 5 can get you what most people never get: predictability and income stability. That's not something to escape from. That's what you call leverage. So a story I really like is of Jack Dorsey. He was the former CEO and co-founder of Twitter. And a lot of people don't know is he actually started this while he was a web designer at a podcasting company called Odeo. And the idea of Twitter, he pitched it to his co-worker and boss, who ended up backing him. And this led to the creation of Twitter. He actually used his 9 to 5, his former job, to help him fund Twitter. And this was before it was successful. So think of it this way. Your paycheck, that's seed capital for your business. Your structured schedule and meetings forces you to use your time efficiently. Managing co-workers or people under you, that's management skills you can use for your own business. Trust me, I used to dread Monday mornings. Now, I use my job as a baseline for everything. I'm building outside of it, and I'm using it as best as I can. Chapter 2. Automate and optimize life. Now, it's important to protect your most valuable asset. And it's not money, it's your time and your energy. But in everyday life, and realistically, it can be hard sometimes, especially with demanding jobs. Dealing with your boss, trying to make deadlines, trying to get that promotion, trying to get your mortgage, your car paid off. Your job becomes a big part of your life, and it can take some of your best hours up. And then it can become so easy to get overwhelmed in this environment. But ultimately, it's up to you to protect your time and your energy. It's common at work to face tough choices, where it's hard to know what to do. And in fact, 85% of people worldwide believe that these difficult decisions negatively impact their life. So how can we use this to help us? Studies have shown that the fewer decisions you make, the easier it is to focus on the things you truly want. And research has found over and over that having fewer choices leads to better results and greater satisfaction. This means you should try to limit the amount of decisions you make for the really important ones. Some tips on how I do it: I automate everything I can. Meal prep on Sundays with groceries delivered. Schedule gym blocks and PT beforehand. Schedule all social plans when I can. And automate all bill payments. Now I know it sounds really small, but that time and mental energy that I've saved doing these things has dedicated so much more time to things that I really wanted. Managing my investments, my side businesses, and even time to create these YouTube videos. I wouldn't have this time if I didn't set these systems up to allow my mind to think big and think efficiently. And one of the stories I really liked is Mark Zuckerberg. And he used to go around wearing the same shirt every day, although he is a billionaire. And he talks a lot about decision fatigue. And him just wearing the same clothes every day to limit the amount of decisions he has to make really struck a chord with me. Even if it's fake, I think it's a really good lesson to learn. and I took inspiration from it. Chapter 3, invest in freedom. So there's gonna come a point in your life where you will eventually have enough money. At this point, you'd realize that no matter how much money you have, you cannot buy back more time. And if you're fortunate enough to be in a situation where you have stable enough income and a living situation thanks to your 9 to 5, you need to consider using your income to buy more time. So you might be asking, what does this actually mean? This means investing in skills that would either give you pleasure or help you earn more in the future. Paying for tools that save time. Paying someone to do admin that you hate doing. Building your savings and investment portfolio. And really just starting things you've always been putting off. For me, that was investing in gear. I worked on delegating and hiring editors, virtual assistants to help me run my side businesses. And that freed up so much more time, and it's actually being done better because someone full-time is doing a job I was just doing on the side. And obviously I wasn't an overnight success, but today at least I'm one step closer to having more control over my time. And I did all of this while working a full-time job. Chapter 4, not all jobs are made equally. So let's be real, not all 9 to 5s are the same. Some are relatively chill, and others feel like it's slowly draining the life out of you, and emotionally, mentally, and physically, it's killing you. But in these situations, maybe the money's good, but if you're constantly burnt out, stressed, and dealing with dread every Monday, is it really worth the trade-off? So I've spoken to many friends earning multiple 6 figures, even low 5 figures. And a lot of them are living for the weekend, recovering every evening, burning out before they're even 30 years old. And I think the key to understanding this is that you don't owe your job loyalty, especially if it's crushing your life. If your job is taking more than it's giving back, it might be a time to rethink, not necessarily to quit instantly, but to reposition. And that's where job hopping comes in. Not just for the sake of higher wage, but with alignment with your energy, your values, and your actual goals. For example, imagine switching to a fully remote job. Same pay, less hours, but no commute. That's easily an hour saved every day. Let's multiply that by 5. 48 working weeks a year. That is 240 hours back. You could build a business in that time, you could write a book, you could be in the gym every day during that time. And that's what I mean by working smart, not harder or longer, just smarter, with alignment in what you value. So your 9 to 5 doesn't need to be perfect, but it should at least give you the space to build something beyond it. If it doesn't, I think you should keep looking, and I think the search will be worth it. Chapter 5. Use the 5 to 9. So ask yourself, what do you do after work? What do most people do after work? Does it involve Netflix, endless scrolling through social media? A study showed that in the US, people spend more time watching Netflix in a day than socializing, exercising, and reading combined. But here's the hard truth. What you do in your free time after work will be the difference between just surviving and building the life you want. This is the 5 to 9 mindset. You really have to learn how to use the time you have after work with intentional evenings. And I think you can do this with small micro projects. Find small tasks that you can do within an hour that will help you to improve your life. Learning a skill, reading a new book, or tackling the tasks that you've been putting off for a long time. Another thing you can do is use this time to invest in yourself. Take that online course, learn the drawing skills, learn the marketing skills, learn your social media skills. There's so many free resources online that you could really learn anything you really want if you put your mind to it. And the last thing I'd suggest is pursuing a side hustle during the 5 to 9. If your goal is to become financially free, that extra income can help you pay off your car or any debt you have. that will further increase your savings and investments. And in time, not only financially free, but time and energy free. And this is really where I think the 5 to 9 goes a long way. And I have a personal story on this. I only spent 1 to 2 hours every night building my first side hustle while working my full-time job. And it wasn't perfect, but guess what? Over time, that 1 hour became a second income stream. And 1 hour for the future every single day, that adds up. So ask yourself what you're really spending your time doing. If you found this helpful, you know what to do. Subscribe, and let's build our life intentionally together.